Welcome back to another episode of Thursday Thoughts, brought to you by Bourbon Lens. And I'm excited because we're going to be talking about my first love, and it's not bourbon, it's actually rye whiskey. We're not talking about any rye whiskey. We're talking about three rye whiskeys that I think have the potential to be really good. One brand new one to me in the Southern Star 6-year-old age-stated rye whiskey. Really love what they're doing here. These are all bottled in bond. And, I think Pete and Vienna are doing great things in North Carolina. Um, this one is near and dear to our hearts here at the Bourbon Lens. That's Jack Daniel's Rye Bonded. And the reason why was we got to go on a press trip down to Lynchburg. We got this little cool stave, it's got a name on it, celebrating the release of the bonded rye whiskey a couple years ago. And then last but not least, everybody knows at this point, if you've been following Bourbon Lens for any period of time, I do love High West. And to see what they've created, especially my boy Isaac out there leading the production, along with the great team that they have, creating this bottled and bond rye whiskey, getting away from the traditional MGP blend that they use in their regular rye and just having their own make, I think is awesome. They now have their bottled and bond bourbon that just hit market as well. So same thing we did last week. I've poured them in the glass A, B, and C. We're using our same Starlight Glencairns type things from last week. Again, I need to hit up my guy Whiskey Noobs and get a blind barrel tasting thing. So, if you want to support us, and help us raise a little bit of money to make the content a little more interesting and also support a creator like Whiskey Noobs. Drop us a follow, join our Patreon, all that cool stuff. We'd really appreciate it. As always, if you like the content that we're providing, hit that subscribe button, like the video. It helps the reach. We'd really appreciate it. So we play a little 3-card Monty here. And to be honest, I haven't drank these much recently, and obviously the Southern Star is brand new. So I don't know what I'm going to get out of these. I'm excited to taste these with you all as we go through here for Thursday Thoughts. So glass number 1, let's look at the color on that one. A little bit of a light honey looking flavor. Again, all bottled and bond rye whiskeys coming from 3 unique states, 3 unique distilleries. And so I'm excited to try it. The one thing I will highlight is the differential coming from High West being that pot still rye whiskey. So this is very traditional rye. It's got some creaminess. It also has some of that cream soda note. A little bit of white pepper, vanilla. Very inviting on the nose, but on the back end, you get that rye spice that's traditionally there with rye whiskey. Enough talking about the nose. It's time to go into the palate and see what it tastes like. Inviting, a little bit of pepper, bouquet of red fruit. That cinnamon note is very, very prominent, but it fades on the back end, almost to herbal notes, a little bit of honey, a little drying on the back part of the palate, on the roof of the mouth a little bit. It does warm you a little bit here in the esophagus, gives you that traditional Kentucky hug that they say. This could be a North Carolina hug or a Tennessee hug or maybe a Utah hug. I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see if I can peg any of these, but the note that stands out on glass 1 is Honeycrisp apple. It is very good. I really like the way that goes. So keep going. If you like the first one, let's see if the second one's any better. So different type of nose. This one's deeper. It does have some apple notes to it. A more red delicious. Honey, caramel. There's a note in there like nutmeg maybe. This does have a little bit of ethanol on it, which is not a bad thing because, obviously it's alcohol. But more tame fruit. It's not as bright. It does have a little bit of lemon zest note in there as well. Like almost... I don't know, like apricot maybe. I don't know, that there's a note in there I just can't pick out. And that's the great thing about tasting notes. They're all going to be different to all people. There's just something in here like a juicy fruit or like a fruit cocktail type note that's kind of like tripping up my nose. Palate slightly thin. It's not as full bodied, not as poppy as the first one, but the fruit does open up here on the second sip. On the first sip there, the fruit's more prominent. The answer is coconut. That's what I'm getting. This one has a lot of coconut in it. Um, Tropical is what that is. Paired with a little bit of baking spice, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of clove there on the back end. Not very warming in here, but very enjoyable. Um, I always like to do this halfway through or two-thirds of the way through, right? 66% of the way done. Lean 1 to 2. But that coconut note is very interesting. I think that would be really fun in like a rye tie, which are very popular right now. So this leads us to our last glass. I feel like this might be the darkest of the three. I didn't show you this color on that one. They're close. So this one's really traditional. You got spearmint in here, a little bit of pine. When I think of rye whiskey, this is what rye whiskey is, like quintessential, like really solid rye. This is it. This kind of reminds me of those really good like Kentucky Owl ryes, like batch 1 and 2 that were phenomenal. Yeah, that's quintessential rye whiskey. There's high malt in that, which I like. I like that maltiness. It gives that vanilla a little more oomph. It gives you a little more deep chocolate rich notes. That is the High West one, 100%. I'm probably gonna be wrong on that, but I think that's the High West bottled and bond. I remember really liking that malty note. Um, that's a really killer rye whiskey. Be a lot of fun to do some things, but traditional rye nose and then a lot of malty chocolate notes that is just really enjoyable. That is just my speed for what I want out of rye whiskey. So I think we're gonna be hunting for number 2 in this one. And that's a shame that I picked out one that I'm kind of like a fangirl about, right? But I'm 99% sure that that last one is High West Rye Bottled and Bonds. Let's pick out who's gonna be second and third. It's always tough because when you smell them back to back, there's just notes this has like a little more cinnamon red hot in it. That one drinks a little more earthy and herbally. All right. We're going to go with bottle number 3 out of this tasting for Thursday Thoughts. And my thoughts today are coming in third would be the Jack Daniels Bonded Rye. Now, it's not a bad thing. I think this is a really good rye whiskey. The reason I like this one a lot, it's got a hell of a value. Like the value on this one is second to none. So don't miss out on this bottle. Don't sleep on it. Grab you a bottle of Jack Daniels Rye Whiskey Bottled and Bond. Glass 2, you're not going to be sad about it. So that means glass 1 would be a Southern Stars. Um, so again, big fan of what they're doing down there in Statesville, North Carolina. Again, bottled and bond, 100 proof. Shout out to Pete Vienna, the team that's creating whiskey. Again, if you wanted to learn more about them, check out right here. You can actually click on the podcast. Also, Pete also joined our Patreon. He was a ton of fun for our tasting club last year. So if you're looking for a rye whiskey, something new, something that you like, gives you traditional notes, Southern Star Rye Whiskey Bottled and Bond. I think you'll enjoy it. Which leads me to my favorite of the night, High West Bottled and Bond Rye Whiskey, crafted by the team out in Wanship, Utah. Got to give love to my boy Isaac Winter for what him and the team have created. Brendan, when he was there, I know he's moving on to bigger and better things. Tara, the whole team. Really enjoy it. Park City is one of my favorite places to visit. If you've not been there to go into the saloon, definitely go and enjoy it. It's a great vacation spot. It's a ton of fun, even if you don't like skiing, which I don't. Big man fall hard. This is one that I think you should go find. And if you're looking for the bourbon, fun tasting night would be blinding the High West bottled and bond with the bourbon and the rye. So let us know. Have you tried these three bottles? Which one's your favorite? Which is your favorite bottled and bond rye whiskey? Is it not one of these three? Give us suggestions. We're always looking for topics and way to discuss more here on Thursday Thoughts with Jake, a Bourbon Lens production. Really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Again, if you like the content, please subscribe, hit the button below, hit like, share it. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, cheers.